Many thanks for joining us here on News Today to our very first story this afternoon. And police in Accra have arrested 5 persons in connection with the murder of Member of Parliament for Ibuakwa North, Joseph Boachi Dankwedu. Now, the 5 include 3 men and 2 women. Here's Public Relations Officer of the Greater Accra Regional Police Command, ASP Efia Tenge.
At about 1:25 a.m., a distress call was placed to the police concerning the unfortunate incident, and the police swiftly proceeded to the scene. On arrival, the police found the victim in a pool of blood and rushed him to the police hospital, but was pronounced dead on arrival. His body has since been deposited at the police hospital morgue awaiting autopsy. Police preliminary investigations. Police preliminary investigations indicate that the victim suffered multiple stab wounds from his attacker or attackers, which led to his death. The police is saddened by the incident, and as I speak to you now, a high team of police investigators comprising of crime scene analysts and homicide experts are presently at the scene for crime scene reconstruction and gathering of forensic evidence. For effective and efficient investigations, the residence of the deceased Member of Parliament has been cordoned off. Meanwhile, 5 persons comprising 2 females and 3 males have been arrested for interrogation. The police hereby wish to solicit the cooperation and support of the general public in order to get to the bottom of this unfortunate incident as soon as possible, to volunteer credible information to the police, to enable the police to unravel the mystery surrounding the death of the NPP lawmaker. Individuals with information could contact the police regional high command on the following telephone numbers: 024 024 233 024, I take it again, 233 7477, 024 233 7477, or 020 8166 148, 020 8166 148. Any development regarding this unfortunate incident that will not compromise investigation will be shared with the general public through the media. Thank you.
Well, Member of Parliament for Asin Central, one of the first people to have been to the residence of the late MP, this John Kennedy Ohene Ejapon, has been narrating to Joy News what he gathered this morning.
Around 4:30 a.m., my normal time for exercise, I was going to exercise. When I turned on my phone, I had a call from a police officer who is from my constituency. And he said, look, he's trying to reach MPP people, but he can't get anybody. And Honorable J.B. Dankwa is dead. Armed robbers attacked him, and I said, how? He said, yes. So I asked him of the location and said I should come to Angie Hill Hotel. And it's not far from where I was. So I drove down there and I saw it myself. When I got in, they had parked an ambulance, police ambulance there. I attempted to go in, but the police officers asked me to go back because, you know, they were doing 1 or 2 checks, forensics and all those things. So I stayed there for a while. I was trying to make calls to my colleagues, but it was too early. But I went round and I saw that at the back of the house, there was barbed wires on it, but it's gone down, and they caught the place, so I couldn't get a chance to see. According to them, that is where the robbers passed. And right in front of his house, there was a ladder there. They said, according to those people, the police officers told me that the person climbed that ladder, went to a landing place, roofing tiles. Then his bedroom has a terrace. So he went there. I don't know if the window was not locked or not. So that is where it happened. So they had locked the wife and the 2 kids in a room. And apparently they did not even know, say, their father or their husband was dead. Fortunately for me, the sister is my clerk for communication committee. So I saw her, Shiba. I called her and she said, oh, she's dead. But she doesn't even know how to break the news to her sister.
Before you continue, who locked up the wife and the children? Is it those living in the house or the assailants, if I should put it that way?
But honestly, I didn't ask. I cannot say that it was the police or the robbers, but he said they are in the room. That was what Shiba told me, that they are in the room, that they are not even aware of what has happened. They know there were robbers in the house, but they were not aware that he's been killed.
You said you also saw that the barbed wires were down. Describe exactly how it was. Was it cut? Was it pulled down?
You know, honestly, they did not allow me to go there because they corded the place. But I saw it down, and I cannot tell because the visibility was bad. So I can't tell. I wouldn't want to say anything that way. I saw it down, and they showed it to me that this is the place they passed.
Are you fond of J.B. Dankwa? What kind of person is he?
You know, to tell you the truth, he's always been quiet, but he's a man of substance. He owns a lot of businesses in this country, but a lot of people might not know because he's quiet. I know 1 or 2 of his company, 3. They do steelworks for erection of, heavy or big properties. Then the back hustle for trucks, articulator trucks. He has a company that manufactures it. And of course, when you get to Imperial Picking, Woolworth, he's also the representative. So, he's very quiet, unassuming, but he does a lot of business.
From what you saw, do you think it will be armed robbers or somebody purposely just went there to kind of kill him and then get out of the place?
I have always been a controversial person. I beg to stay away from this question. Although the police officer says something to me, I don't want to say anything on that.
What would you remember him for as a colleague MP?
Well, as a colleague MP, he's one of the finest guys. He dresses well. In fact, just last week, he was sharply dressed. And he's cool. He knows what time it is when it comes to dressing. I'll remember him for that. Then when it comes to business side, I'll say that he's an astute businessman.
Party-wise, in terms of the MPP, this surely will be a big blow to you. How are you taking this as a party?
Well, it's sad, but I went to Nana's house this morning to tell him, because I was trying to reach him. I didn't get me, the phone was ringing, so I went to the house to tell him this is what has happened. I think I had a message here that we should all wear black to Parliament. We'll take a decision, and the decision is not coming from me, it's coming from everybody. So when we get there, then we know what steps to take.
Did you meet Nana, and what was his reaction to the news?
I met him. They woke him up, and I broke the news to him and said, oh, how? He didn't even believe it because he said yesterday, around 10 a.m., he came with the wife's relatives to inform him of the death of the wife's aunt. So he was with him yesterday, 10 a.m. Yes, he was with him yesterday, 10 a.m. So he was surprised. And obviously, it was too early. He woke up from bed just to receive me, and I broke the news to him.
Deputy Minority Leader Dominic Nito meanwhile tells Joy News the minority in Parliament will be mourning the loss of the late MP for a while due to his immense contribution to the party. He's been speaking to parliamentary correspondent Elton John Bobby.
It's difficult for me to greet the people of Ghana today. I've refrained from speaking on radio about this particular matter. This is the first one and maybe the last one for the day I will speak. It's so shocking. It is beyond words. I can't describe the way I feel. Look, let me tell you, when my father died, he died in my arms in a car to the hospital. He died in my arms. His head was on my laps, and I was taken to the hospital with the driver, and he died in my arms, my own father. But I can tell you the way I feel is worse than the way I felt at that time. It's worse because maybe I've never seen him being sad all the time that I've been in Parliament with him. Never. He's always smiling. Even when he's hurt, he's always smiling. It tells us that we are in very, very difficult times. You see, for a human being to conceive and put to action the act of going to another person's house in the holy hour of the night to go and kill that person is beyond madness. It's beyond description.
Eastern Regional Correspondent Edwin Kofisian has been speaking to some constituency executives in the Ebuakwa North area. There he's joining me on phone now with more on what they have been telling him so far. So, Kofi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. So, what exactly have these constituency executives been telling you?
They still cannot come to terms with what actually happened today when the news was brought to them. They are certainly at a loss. They are expressing shock. They still don't get it. They are shocked. There is nothing they are able to do apart from wailing. That is what is happening in Ebuakwa North now. When you meet people on the street, everybody, each and everyone, including the opposition, are all joining the wailing, and that is what is happening here in Ebuakwa North.
What have they been saying about
that situation?
What have they been saying about the late member of parliament?
Well, they talk about the fact that he is a very generous man, very kind, very honest, and people who have benefited directly from him claim he's been paying their fees, he's been honoring their invitations to programs, and a host of things that they said. That they said good things about him, even the opposition, as I rightly said before. So it's really a sad situation here in Ebuakwa North.
Edwin Kofisian, many thanks for your time, and that was our correspondent in the Eastern region, bringing us some reactions from the Ebuakwa North constituency there. Now, let's move on and do a lot more on this particular story. And members of parliament are calling for protection following the murder of Ebuakwa North MP Joseph Boakye Dankwa. Now, reacting to news of the death of their colleague MP, some members of parliament who have been speaking to parliamentary correspondent Elton Brobe are calling for the protection of members of parliament due to the risks associated with their line of duty.
The member of parliament for Okankwe Central, Patrick Yabuama, in black jacket, black tie, also in mourning. Honorable, how did you receive the news?
Thank you very much. One of your colleagues, my heartfelt condolences goes to the family of our dear colleague, and may his soul rest in peace. One of your colleagues, Fifi Banson, called me at dawn. Fortunately, my boss, the former president of the Bar Association at Amegacha, lives directly opposite our departed colleague. So I called him to check, and he confirmed. We were together at Ekropon over the weekend to mourn with Okuapema. JB was there with us, very cheerful as always. A very nice person, gentleman, a businessman. We all know him as such. What I will entreat members is that we should take heart and also push our leadership to request for adequate protection for us, because members of the public who are within our category are given protection. So MPs are not asking for too much. Just that then some of the conduct of some of our members, their utterances, also tend to push the public against us when we demand or request for something which is not out of the ordinary. We must take heart and ensure that our leadership, at least if not during the day, at night, at homes, because we serve thousands of people. They come to us for all sorts of requests. we entreat the government and the leadership of Parliament to take a second look at this request for protection for MPs, if not during the day, at night, because it's going at an alarming proportion, and we cannot bear with that.
Let's go to Parliament now and bring you the very latest on the floor. And joining me now is Parliamentary correspondent Elton Brobe. So, Elton, we understand, well, the Speaker has called a recess in Parliament. Is it because of this very same reason?
Yes, of course, you're right. I mean, the issue or the motion for the adjournment of the House was raised by the minority leader who briefed the House on what has happened so far. And he called for the suspension of the House to enable members to commiserate with the bereaved family, and that was seconded by the majority chief whip who stood in for the majority leader. The Speaker also told members about how the news came to him, the fact that he had a call from the National Security Coordinator, the Greater Accra Regional Police Commander, on what has happened so far. Now, as I speak to you now, we are on a bus on our way to the house of the late Member of Parliament. The leadership of Parliament, together with members, are going there to commiserate with the bereaved families. So we are on a bus right now heading to the residence of the late MP. But what is happening right now is the members of Parliament have been taken aback by what has happened so far. It has resurrected the debate for security for members of Parliament. People are hearing so much background about so much noise in the background. We are on our way, and the mood in Parliament is that of start.
And I presume by this that indeed that particular exercise that was supposed to go on in Parliament today did not come off. I'm speaking of that vetting process.
All activities in Parliament have been suspended, including the vetting of the ministers nominated by President John Mahama. Also, the Public Committee was also expected to hold a public hearing to probe into the audited account of the Auditor General. That has also been suspended. So everything has come to a standstill right now in Parliament. Tomorrow, the expectation is that everything will take center stage.
Okay, Elton, many thanks for your time. That was Parliamentary correspondent Elton Brobe, who tells us that the leadership of Parliament and indeed the entire House is actually on its way to the residence of the late Member of Parliament for Ebuakwa North there. You're watching News Today here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. We're taking a break. We'll be back shortly with some more. Don't go away. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today. To some more stories now, and I'm sure you may have driven or walked past this monument several times. Now, I'm talking about the tower clock at the Accra Central Post Office. I had an unmistakable chime, which meant a lot for residents of Bukom. But for the past 4 years, the clock has stopped ticking and the chime have fallen silent. Francis Aban visited the community to find out why.
That's the unmistakable chime of the tower clock at the Ghana Post Office in the heart of the Central Business District of Accra. The tower clock here at the Central Business District next to Ghana Post Service is one that is of immense value to people here in the town. It's in the Central Business District. And for more than a decade, more than a century, in fact, it has been one of the most important, timeless artifacts you find in this town. But today, the clock is not ticking. It is not working. And the reason is simple. It's because this particular edifice has two main challenges: maintenance and the funds needed to do it.
It means a lot. It means a lot because in the morning it will ring. Then workers will be rushing to work. 12 o'clock it will ring. So we've been hurrying ourselves to school. 4:30 it will ring. Workers will close.
Like the Elizabeth Tower in London, popularly known as Big Ben, for many residents, Accra's tower clock is much more than just a timepiece, as 57-year-old Aquile told me.
What you do at post office here?
Our kids use the clock at the post office to update themselves. They come to you at exactly 12 noon to complain of hunger when they hear the 12 o'clock chimes. Also on New Year's Eve, we don't notice we have entered a new year because the clock no longer chimes at 12. We only realize we have entered a new year when drivers home.
Strange things can happen. Clock chimes at the stroke of midday across Central.
All I know about it is when it's 12 noon, it has this siren that it blows, and people around this area or elsewhere, when you hear it, they make the sign of cross. I don't know what that means.
But for 4 years, the historic artifact has not been working. Let's go in and find out what exactly the problem is. How does this clock work in the first place?
You know, it has been said that when it is 12 o'clock, this watch, when it is on the dot, 12 o'clock, there's a bell up there which will ring before the alarm, the siren at the gate will also blow. Okay. About, let's say, 4 years ago, I can say it is not working. It has not been easy to get this very machine. Yeah, that's why it has blown.
So as it is now, this clock is done, it's spoiled, it cannot work again. It has to be replaced.
It has to be replaced.
So if it's a question of replacing the old clock with the new one, what's the hold-up? That's what I asked the head of estates at the Ghana Post, Charles Esiedo.
We're trying to get somebody locally to see how best they can fix this machine for us. The manufacturers no longer manufacture the parts for that clock. The best they can do for us is to import those parts for us.
How much will it cost us to get the new clock?
We tried, we said actually we were going to pay almost about 6,500 USD to get a new clock, but that is without the siren.
But for a company which is struggling to stay relevant, fixing the tower clock is not a priority.
I'm quite curious as to why, in the face of global falling mail volumes, which puts a lot of drain and challenges of the company, we are looking at a siren and a tower clock.
You're saying that for the Ghana Post, in terms of your strategy and corporate planning, this is not a main issue for you?
Yes, it's not a key issue.
It's not clear how long it will take authorities to fix this one. What's clear to most residents here in Accra Central is that a big part of the community history is lost indefinitely. Francis Aban reporting from the Ghana.
That was really an interesting piece there by my colleague Francis Aban. But away from that, let's talk about some other issues. And the Akachi South Police have arrested one person for allegedly transporting a large quantity of dried cocoa beans suspected to be on its way to Togo. Now, the suspect, Kojo Zenyo, 36, was arrested last Friday at the Hikpo barrier on the Accra-Aflao Road in the Volta region. Joining me on phone now with a lot more is correspondent Ivy Setoji with a lot more details on this. So tell us about the arrest of this 36-year-old, Ivy.
Well, this man was actually arrested, as he rightly says, at Hippo. That was last Friday on the Accra-Aflao Road in the Volta region. That place is nearer to the Akachi South District. Now, this man was believed to be taken to was from Kede in the eastern region. He was bringing it from there. I loaded this gallons full of some of them were palm oil at the top of it, and the other ones were at the bottom. So the police suspected it when they stopped him, and they suspected it. But right now, he still refused to mention the owner. He's claiming that he is the owner of the truck and that everything belongs to him. So the police are still investigating. He's currently with the Akachi South Police Station investigating, assisting investigations, and also the truck is also there as well. The police commander, the Superintendent Dennis Fiafi, told me earlier on that they are doing everything possible to make sure that they get to the root of this problem, because most of the time they see these people passing to Togo with all these trucks, and they try to stop them or get them arrested. But yesterday it was very, very on Friday, last Friday, it was very, very tough for the team but they were able to arrest Henyo from around that time. And so they are still investigating this case.
Right. Many thanks for that update. Ivy Setoji joining us live from the Volta region. You're watching News Today here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. Time now for us to do some business with John Amwako after this break.
And it's now time for business. And the Obuasi Municipal Chief Executive Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi is challenging reports that Anglo Gold has suspended its operations because of last weekend's clashes with illegal miners. There are reports the company has suspended its essential services following clashes between illegal miners and some of its staff last Saturday. This led to the death of one of its staff.
The clashes on Saturday led to the death of the company's communications director, John Owusu. The illegal miners reportedly empowered security officers detailed to protect Anglo Gold's concessions, which had been illegally taken over by the Galamsey operators. Municipal Chief Executive of Obuasi, Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi, tells Joy Business the company may have brought the situation upon itself.
Stated it somewhere else that when you engage the artisanal miners, what they tell us is that in the period between 2004 and 2005, when the company got overwhelmed by illegal activity of Galamseyers, they sat down with the association, and the association put up a task force together. They were helping them secure. They were going to difficult areas to go and arrest people who had gone underground to do illegal mining, and they were feeding them. So they do not understand why all of a sudden in 2013, when they have that peaceful coexistence, they will come and flash them from a place that they suspect AGA is not doing. They call those places abandoned sites, because for them, once you have decommissioned, I are not doing any mining activity there. Right. They think that when whatever they go to do there does not affect it.
He intimates, contrary to reports that Anglo Gold Ashanti has suspended operations as a result of the clash, the company has not been operating for the last 3 months.
They have not suspended operations. The company is not doing active mining for about 3 months, and they have not. I live with them in Obuasi. They are for about 3 months, and they have not been doing active mining. They are not doing production. What they are doing is what we would describe as care and maintenance, and that's still ongoing.
Anglo Gold Ashanti's communications director, John Owusu, who died in the clash, and other AGA officials had gone to one of the mining sites taken over by the illegal miners, but violence erupted as the miners chased them and hurled stones at them. While the staff were fleeing from the scene, the deceased was reportedly run over by a vehicle. It's unclear if he fell off from his vehicle or he was hit and run over by another vehicle. Etonamse, Joy Business.
And Ghana grabbed all 3 awards at the 2015 West African edition of the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award, held in Lagos, Nigeria, over the weekend. The award is part of the internationally acclaimed EY World Entrepreneur Awards program. More in this Business Desk report.
Founder and chairman of Casapreco Limited, Dr. Kwabena J, beat 3 other finalists to pick the top award in the Master Entrepreneur category, whilst the founder and managing director of Kinafama and Healthy Life, Kofi Siapoku, also beat 4 other Nigerian business leaders to win in the Emerging Entrepreneur category. Executive Chairman of Jonah Capital and former President of Anglo Gold Ashanti, Dr. Sam Jonah, was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award. The West Africa edition of the award started in 2011 and has been adjudged a huge success by industry watchers in Ghana and Nigeria. Aside the prestige and networking benefits associated with the awards, winners are also automatically included in the final round of the Global Growth Companies nomination process. These companies are the most dynamic, with growing revenues, and best described as the trailblazers, shapers, and innovators that are committed to improving the state of the world. In addition, winners of the EY Entrepreneur of the Year West African Master category get to represent the region at the World Entrepreneur of the Year in Monaco in June every year, where they are inducted into the Hall of Fame and vie for the award.
And the Ghana Insurance Association says its members cannot be blamed for refusing to offer insurance cover to traders in major informal markets. This in response to concerns by some traders in the Kumasi Central Market whose shops were razed by fire last month. According to the traders, insurance companies had declined to accept their businesses, citing the marketplace as a high-risk area. Defending their position, the president of the association, Ivan Aveire, explained to Joy Business this would not change until the navigation systems in these marketplaces are improved to reduce the incidence of fire.
Tell the property owners to improve the risk before we can come in there. Whether it is for the city planners or whoever, that one I cannot say. Because all that is that somebody comes and says, I have my shop in the middle of the market. And I try to get there, and I can't get there. Even driving there with my car, I cannot even drive there. So it tells me that as soon as there's a fire, that thing would definitely burn through, because the fire service cannot come and salvage anything from there. If persistently particular risk occurs at the same place for a very long time, it becomes a problem. And why is it so? Insurers are refusing to go into those markets because there's no access for even the fire tenders to go and attend to when the fires occur. That's where the issue is coming from. If you know that if you insure this thing, it will definitely burn, you don't go in and do that. We are prudent underwriters.
And that will be it for business. For more, you can join me on the marketplace this afternoon at exactly 1 to 1:30. My name is John Kojo Amwako. Stay tuned.
Because we believe that Ivan has our vision of making a society where persons with disability can participate in every aspect of life.
Does it then mean you're asking your members to vote for him come November 7 just because of his physical disability?
Yes, we advocating that once Ivan buy into our vision, and he represents our vision, okay, yes, they should support him, they should vote for him.
And how are you going to encourage your members to vote for Ivan, because they might have their political affiliations already?
Why do people vote? Why would you vote? Would you vote because the person is handsome or beautiful? Would you vote because the person is from your tribe? You vote because you want something, you want your life being changed, not based on political lines. Because he's a person with disability, and because he has struggled to reach this height, I mean the highest gentleman of this country, we think that if he's given the support, he can champion our cause.
What's your population and what percentage do you represent?
The UN report says that between 10 and 15. Okay, but you see, in issues like this, you're looking at our families as well, because my wife would stand for me.
And you're sure that will cause Ivan to become the next president of the Republic of Ghana?
The thing is that we are giving him our support. We are giving him our support, and with strategy, I think Ivan knows what to do. Okay, with strategy, we can call a stay.
And that's how we wrap up on News Today this afternoon. My name is Kwabena Chenchahino, but remember, there's a lot more news when you visit myjoyonline.com. John Omako is up next with the Marketplace on this very same channel. Many thanks for your company.